In Tournament 4 of Robloxian SASUKE, 100 competitors battled against the notorious 4-stage obstacle course, redesigned following Yas 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1's Kansai Ha in the previous tournament. However, success was scarce, as we saw the tournament close out at the earliest point in Robloxian SASUKE history. But what about those we didn't get to see? That's what we're focusing on today with the 20 competitors who didn't make it into the proper roster of 100 attempting the course. Will any of them continue the streak of failures seen throughout the Kansai renewal, or will any of them succeed? All will be revealed in this Extra Runs episode of Robloxian SASUKE. Hello everyone, my name is Jamie Dorino, and for the final time, welcome back to Robloxian SASUKE 4. For 4 episodes, we witnessed the main tournament occur, the 100 Brave Challengers against the brand new course. But just like the last few tournaments, more than 100 competitors actually stepped up to that starting line, and that's what this episode serves to show. Today, 20 competitors will be attempting the same course, but please note a lot of these competitors won't make it far. That's why they weren't in the main episodes. Regardless, all of them will be starting off on the first stage. The main group of 100 already showed how brutal this first stage was, with 95 competitors ultimately being undone on it. This brutal 8-obstacle gauntlet combined speed with technique, as many struggled to complete all the obstacles in succession. The new Rolling Marta and the relocated Defying Gravity proved to be the first major hurdles for competitors, with both obstacles taking out 19 competitors each. Twin Dia was also a threat, as alongside being a difficult obstacle in itself, the multiple rotations competitors took on the obstacles spelled doom for later on in their runs. As competitors went through the course, the time limit started to become a factor, leading to many running low on time as they made their way to Soritatsukabe, with 3 competitors downright failing it. However, the last obstacle stage proved to be what separated the good from the great, as Swinging Forest eliminated 12 out of the 17 who reached it. If competitors are able to complete all 8 obstacles of the stage, they'll only be able to advance onward if they've done it all within the 80-second time limit. Everyone else will be eliminated. This first stage was so incredibly brutal, but now we are going to have 20 more attempts on the stage. Of course, only 5 in the main broadcast were able to clear. We're going to see what number 101, Blaze Tahap 2, will be able to do. Going to be the first of 20 to attempt this course. 8 obstacles, 80 seconds to get from the start all the way to the end. All 20 of these competitors are going to be newcomers. So essentially, if you've ran the course, it's a really good chance that you're not going to be an extra runner. Blaze just failed the jump onto that first stone. That is not the way to do Boyoishi, and unfortunately, that's going to be eliminating him there on his first attempt out, not even able to get one jump into the course. These extra runs, I was talking about how they probably weren't going to do the best, but this definitely is going to show the track record for what's going to happen. Extra runners really have not done the best in Robloxian SASUKE, and honestly the best in really any competition wherever extra runs are shown, because in all of Robloxian SASUKE, we have yet to see a single competitor even get through 3 obstacles. The best we saw was getting to the dismounted whirlpool last tournament. I think about 2 competitors made it there last time, but now we have not even seen 2 competitors pick it halfway through the first obstacle. GUI XD1237, another newcomer, number 102, is not going to be able to get through that course the same. So it's just another competitor going down here. And also, I've said this for the last few tournaments, but this is going to continue the trend of having competitors for the extra runs have numbers. I know a lot of competitions, they really don't give out numbers, and I thought that, since they ran the course, it would be good for them to at least be given the notoriety that, we ran the course. Sometimes extra runners just get cut altogether, and I honestly didn't want to do that, because if you ran the course, I'd at least want to show you in some way, and that is the 3rd competitor in a row out on this first obstacle, and the second, same exact result as Blaze Tap 2, where you just missed that first time, and he's able to get it there. But unfortunately, that first run's going to stand out there on that first obstacle. This brutal first obstacle, Boyoishi, didn't take out that many competitors in the actual broadcast. But here, that's 3 competitors in a row down on that obstacle. Yeah, in the tournament, it only took out 15 people, which is the least amount that first obstacle ever has taken out. That's tied with tournament 2 with the quintuple steps. Last tournament, Boyoishi took out 19 competitors, I believe. Yep, 19. So not really been the most threatening first obstacle, but I think we can see a good result here out of Koki of Wisdom. He's one of the more notable people in the competition. Probably one of the people who I probably should have not relegated to extra runs, but unfortunately, here he is at number 104, and he is the first to get through Boyoishi, and now he is going to be attempting Rolling March at this obstacle. 19 competitors went down on this obstacle, but he's able to get through that no problem, and now on to Defying Gravity. This obstacle, obviously relocated from the earlier and unable to get onto that second ledge, but as I was saying, it's a relocated obstacle. It was later on in the first stage back in Tournament 3, but now in Tournament 4, it's a lot earlier, and we are seeing a lot more competitors go down it. Tournament 3 didn't really have the most amount of attempts to be a deadly obstacle, but here in Tournament 4, it definitely was very, very deadly. Now, Sheik Malik Ult is going to be our next player to go. Number 105, that means we're already almost a fourth of the way done, which is kind of crazy because Tournament... Oh, he's not even able to get through the halfway point of the first obstacle. And that's another person. We got a break from the first obstacle failures with Koki, but we are back to going into Boyoishi Slumbers. And you can see Sheik really, really upset about that. That's really unfortunate to see out of him because I know he practiced a lot, and he is someone who, ever since the tournament taped, has definitely been putting in practice. So hopefully he returns for Robloxian SASUKE 5, gets himself a good enough result. And now we are on to number 106. I'm doing all this in one take, by the way. Usually whenever I'm doing runs, I do them one at a time, and that gives me more of a what language am I even saying? More of a leeway to retake things if I need to and make sure that I have the most perfect product out. Extra runs really isn't that. I'm just talking into the void. Oh, and he's not going to get through that either. 5 out of the first 6 competitors down on Boyoishi. If you thought that obstacle was hard in the main tournament, just you wait. That's already 20 fails if you combine the main tournament and extra runs together. And you can see he's also very, very upset about that. Good cat, 1054. Another one down on that. And now up next is going to be Yoshiyuki. Now, in Sasuke, one of the most prolific competitors nowadays is Yamamoto Yoshiyuki, a member of the Black Tiger. So we're going to see if he's going to be able to translate some of that success from real-life Sasuke into Robloxian Sasuke. Those skills are very, very hard to have at the same time. I feel like only a few competitors are actually able to say they've confidently been successful in real life and also on Roblox. The first person that comes to mind is obviously Freepu. Phil almost was able to beat stage 1 this time. Hopefully he comes back because I think he'd do pretty good on a second attempt there, especially given the fact that he's now consistently competing more. But let's stop focusing about the past. We gotta go on to what's in the present. Yoshiyuki already through 2 obstacles, Rolling Marta, a non-entity so far, not a single person going down on that. And now on to Defying Gravity. He's really high up there, but he's able to make contact with the second one. And now gotta get that third. He doesn't get it. Gets the walk off, but just doesn't get the jump. Defying Gravity is one of the most interesting obstacles we have in this first stage because it's unlike anything that are seen in a lot of other Roblox Ninja competitions. Defying Gravity actually originated from a completely different competition. It was Phoenix's Roblox Ninja Warrior, and that was back in 2019 to 2020, so it hadn't been seen in a hot minute. But Robloxian SASUKE brought that obstacle back. Phoenix's Roblox Ninja Warrior is one of the most influential Roblox Ninja competitions that I had ever been a part of, so just to have an obstacle there that was created by the guy who created Phoenix, something that I want to do just to honor him. But now we're on to our next competitor around the course, Roller Coaster, and he's going very, very fastly. Not Roller Coaster, you got that U in there, so you gotta say Coaster, but able to get through that first obstacle nonetheless. And now on to Rolling Marta. A lot of big names went down on this obstacle, but looks like he's timing it pretty nicely and able to get all the way to the end as well. And now another competitor on to Defying Gravity. So got one more flip around. He's flipping around. Oh, he gets to it. Whoa, he actually gets the dismount. Okay, this is actually a new ground here for our extra runners. We actually got a competitor onto the 4th obstacle. This has never happened in both the tournament 2 and 3 extra runs, but he doesn't make contact there with the second diamond. I think he jumped at probably the worst possible time because by that point, it was already well up into the air and he just had absolutely no chance to get onto there. But still, that was a very, very strong run. Trend setting here for our extra runners. Yet to see a competitor get through 3 obstacles. Roller Coaster able to get there and almost was able to beat Twin Dire, honestly. If he got that jump in between, I think he would have been able to do it. And now up onto the course is Jen Dog Wolf, one of the most excited competitors heading into this tournament. I remember they wanted to have their best attempt for their first ever attempt at Robloxian SASUKE, and I think this actually might have been their first ever Roblox competition in general, so probably chose one of the most difficult competitions to go with, considering the fact that this first stage was so incredibly brutal. But they're going through pretty nicely so far and able to get all the way to the end of that first obstacle, and now over to Rolling Marta. Ooh, I don't really like the strategy here, going completely backwards. That's really risky. You really don't have a lot of control, but they jump and it somehow works out for them. We saw that with a lot of competitors jumping near the end, and that's so risky because it's so hard to time it. But Gendog Wolf unable to get through Defying Gravity, but Rolling Marta, that save there, that's one of those things that is so hard to be able to do consistently. So to do that in your main run where you only have one attempt, pressure's really high. That's something that takes a lot of confidence to do, just to be able to fully execute on that. But now we are on to Kyle W 2010. So yet to see a competitor get halfway through this first stage, but in the main tournament, honestly, there was a whole lot more success than what I would have expected. 32 competitors were able to get through Twin Dia, which is a whole lot more than we had seen in the past 3 tournaments. In Tournament 1, only 20 were able to get through the 4th obstacle. In Tournament 2, that was a little bit higher with, I am actually looking at the complete wrong sheet. It was actually 20 in Tournament 3. In Tournament 2, 23 were able to get through to the halfway point. And then in Tournament 1, it was 16. So there was that little increase between 1 and 2. And then Tournament 3 had that tiny little decrease. It was mainly because of Swinging Forest. Swinging Forest, randomly out of nowhere, just became an absolute threat in Tournament 3. Tournament 2, it was kind of a non-entity. I think like 13 people failed it. And then 23 people failed it in Tournament 3. And similar numbers were here this tournament. 12 people went down on Swinging Forest this tournament, which obviously when you're speaking about numbers, that's not a lot, but percentage-wise, that's really a whole lot because only 5 people were able to clear, not even 0.5% of them. Oh, wow, look at that jump. And we see it there. That's another competitor going for that jump, but that one, somehow he was able to get like a pseudo fling there into Defying Gravity. He's already almost at the end. The Megin unable to get through that obstacle. Another competitor missing that jump from the 2nd to the 3rd, having a flip there. That's one of those things that's really hard to do, especially given the fact that it's on an angled platform. Defying Gravity, when it was conceptualized, it was actually going to be in Tournament 1, believe it or not. Similarly to this tournament, it was actually going to be the 3rd obstacle. So Quarter Bridge was a little bit of a late addition, but Defying Gravity, back then, it honestly was not anything similar to what we saw in Tournament 3 and 4. There was actually going to be a wrap in between the 2 walls, which is honestly overkill. And I think Tournament 1 would have had even less clears than we did because that would have been incredibly brutal for Tournament 1. Tournament 1, honestly, I'm shocked with how little success there was in Tournament 1. We only got 9 clears in that tournament, but if this was hosted nowadays, I think there would have been a whole lot more success. And Subcash 11 is showing that this course is definitely no problem. Gotta get the dismount, and that's another competitor here through Defying Gravity. And now our second look at Twin Dia for the day. He's doing pretty good so far. Now has to jump, which we didn't get the jump, but ooh, if he got that jump, he would have been perfect. He would have been able to get onto that second diamond, probably would have been able to go up and over it and over to the dismount platform as well, but unfortunately just could not make that happen. And that's another competitor down on this first stage. That is 12 runs. 12 runs done. We got only 8. I, for whatever reason, am unable to count. We got 8 runners left. Next competitor up in the course. Got a lot of support there from Volnio. Volnio obviously made it all the way to the 3rd stage, got 2nd place overall. So we're going to see what our next competitor will be able to do. YXH005. So starting on here on the starting line, got to get onto this obstacle first. This mount, in all of its appearances, has just been surprisingly deadly. Like, you would never consider the mount of an obstacle to be such a hard thing, but we've seen a lot of players go down here, but YXH did not do that there. Fell about halfway through that obstacle, I think from like the 4th or 5th stone that they touched, but you can see they're a little bit dissatisfied with that result. This first obstacle is definitely one of the hardest ones that we see in Robloxian SASUKE, and also just Roblox in general. It's one of those ones where it's very, very hard to be able to get it done consistently if you're nervous. That's the best way to describe it, because with those stones being very slippery, it makes them very, very prone to having a lot of mistakes happen on there. So just gotta be able to be perfect there, and Eli Breed just barely even gets onto that first stone, gets into a climbing animation. Thankfully, you can do that, but doesn't get a climbing animation there, just undershoots it, doesn't get onto that 4th stone, and that sends them into the water. And that's another first stage fail for the extra runs. This has just been a Boyoishi massacre so far. By that point, that is our 8th fail on that obstacle in extra runs alone, and we are just on to our 15th competitor. Over half of them have failed that, because we got out of the first 14 runs, over half of them have gone down on this first obstacle, and then a few of them went down on Defying Gravity, and then 2 of them went down on Twin Dia. We still have not seen a Rolling Marta fail, so we're going to see what our next competitor is going to be able to do. This is Noah_77N. Now, Noah, this is not actually his first time at Robloxian SASUKE. He competed in a few minis back in Tournament 2, and then just never showed up to the main tournament or Tournament 3. But here he is on Tournament 4 for his first actual official appearance. That's an actual competition, and on to Rolling March Up. Took him about 20 seconds to get through that obstacle. If he wants to be able to clear, he needs to go a little bit faster, but just has to rotate that all the way down, able to get to the end there, and now another competitor here onto Defying Gravity, trying to jump up to the top, and onto the second one, landed just barely on the bottom, so gonna get a lot more height considering the fact you're doing a flip, and didn't get onto that next one. Tried to get the flip around, but kind of went for it sideways. The best way to do that one is honestly just going for it, so that way you're able to get into a climbing animation, climb up to the top of it, and then dismount off the obstacle. You can see another competitor, really unfortunate to see them go down on this obstacle. 15 competitors down, not a single one through to jumping. We got 5 competitors left for the stage. Up next is going to be the Ninja Logan 1014. We're going to see what they're able to do here on this attempt. Avatar is, what was that meme called? It was really big like a year ago. The fact I cannot remember what this meme was called is honestly kind of shocking, but unable to get through that obstacle. Oh, it was Cool Guy. That was the meme. The meme was called the Cool Guy. Yeah, that was really big when this was taping. So I'm kind of shocked we only got one person that used that that hat. But 4 competitors are left here, starting off with Tyrese on top. So we're going to see what Tyrese is able to do here. Got to be able to be on top of your skills here to be able to get all the way through this course. This course, with more fails that we are seeing, it just only makes this course even more difficult. But now walking up to the starting line, taking a lot of time there on the starting line to just size up the jumps, and now going through each of these stones. It looks like 10 seconds have been used, but now just moving through, able to get to the end of that one. And now over to Rolling Marta. Gotta get that log moving first, just jumping on it. You gotta be able to get moving there at least. So now it's just a slow roll down to the bottom and just loses his grip. Oh, and rage quits too. Oh my gosh. We have not had a rage quitter in a hot minute on these courses. Tyrese on top, unfortunately, could not get on top of the log and then lost his grip and fell into the water. Polypi 1, 2, 3, 4 is going to be our next competitor to attempt the course. Another competitor with 80 seconds to attempt all of these obstacles. Gotta get them out. It doesn't get them out either. These extra runs have just not been the most successful. I mean, we got someone to Twin Dia. I'm happy about that, but the more Boy Wishy feels that go on, the more hilarious it gets, because I have to at least by this point be at 10. We have to at least at this point have 10 failed. Yeah, we have to have 10. Let me count actually how many fails we have. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, that's 10 failures. We still got 2 more renders left, so over half of them have gone down on this first obstacle. Boy Wishy, what a brutal challenge here for these competitors. But Adam Dagger Games is going to be our next competitor to attempt this course. He's also another pretty notable competitor here competing on this course, but relegated to extra runs here. And now on to Rolling Marta. Gotta spin this one around. Has to find a good place to be comfortable here. Rotating that log around. Gotta get to the dismount and able to get that as well. Now on to Defying Gravity. Actually had a pretty good pace here. We've seen a lot of competitors go slow, but he's really caught up here at the top of that first wall and kind of goes lower there, but oh, got a head bump. That's so unfortunate. You know, it's one of those things that a lot of competitors really overlooked on an obstacle. Having those lips at the top of the wall, they're there for a reason, and we see that right there with Adam Deiger, just unable to get to the top of that. And now we got one competitor left. Number 120, Misters MRZ, Misters Llama 87. At least that's how I'm assuming you pronounce it. Will be our last competitor running this course. It's honestly kind of crazy how quickly these extra runs have gone. It's definitely the shortest episode that we've ever had for Robloxian SASUKE, given the fact that we only have 20 runners. But still, the runs have just been going by so quickly, given the fact that a lot of them just have not been able to beat the first obstacle. But there we go. Mr. Llama able to get through that, and now over to Rolling Mark, the last person of the tournament to attempt this. Gotta roll down to the end. Slowly but surely making their way down to the bottom and able to get there. Now, we're going to see probably our last attempt here for Defying Gravity. We're going to see if it's going to end in a clear or a fail. Very, very low, though. I'm not really liking that. But able to make it happen and almost slips off there, too. Gotta be careful if they want to be able to get through this obstacle. Going for it! And can't connect. So, with that fail, says GG. You know, I'm happy about that. At least a competitor goes out in good spirits and doesn't rage quit. We saw a few rage quits today, but, you know, I like when a competitor goes out with good spirits, feeling confident about the run, feeling happy about the run. So, it's good to see a good sport here. Mr. Llama 87, the last competitor down on this course. And with that, it's officially time to say goodbye to Robloxian SASUKE 4. The final 20 competitors attempted the course, and not a single one was able to break through to the 5th obstacle. With all runs now finally being completed, it's time to see what's coming next, and a new tournament is on the horizon. Tournament 5's course has been out for a few days by this point, and it's linked in the description, ready for you to start practicing. The game is rated for all ages, meaning that anyone can attempt the course. Alongside that, the tournament will begin to tape within the coming months. My goal is for it to begin right after the holiday season ends in the first week of January, with it continuing throughout the rest of the month, so we're not that far off from it starting. I'll make an announcement video that gives out more information when we get closer to the tournament, so stay tuned for that. Lastly, minis will be held once again before the tournament. There's going to be 5 held in total, and they're going to start on November 22nd and happen once every weekend -1 until it's time for the tournament to begin. Other than that, that is all I've got. Thank you so much for watching this tournament. I've absolutely loved hosting it and editing it for all of you. For the final time of this tournament, this has been Jamie Dorino signing off. We'll see you for Robloxian SASUKE Tournament 5.